Okay.
Here we have the Tier 3 wall assembly. So this assembly is very similar to the standard Tier 1 wall, except with a little bit of added bonus. So it's a 2x6 stud wall framing with R20 fiberglass batt insulation in the cavities, but this wall assembly has an additional 2 inches of exterior mineral wool to the outside of the wall assembly here. So the benefit of wrapping a building in insulation like this is that it eliminates as many thermal bridges as possible. So every stud that would come out through the wall assembly would transfer heat. And with this insulation wrapping around the entire building, it eliminates that thermal bridging through where those studs are. With this wall assembly, we've done the air control layer to the exterior. So the WRB is the air control layer. When we do that, we have to make sure that we tape all the joints and maintain that air tightness through tapes and sealants like that. One of the benefits of using mineral wool, it can go to the exterior of the WRB because mineral wool can handle moisture and it will actually help drain, moisture will drain down it and it can be considered part of the WRB. Mineral wool also has fire rating qualities, or fire resistant qualities, so it helps with any sort of, if some towns have requirements for fire rating, then it can assist with that as well. So one of the things with this wall, with having wrapped the exterior, making the WRB the air control layer, that helps to deal with if you do the air control layer on the interior, you have to detail around where like floors come in, where partitions come in and meet the exterior wall. So wrapping the exterior to make that the air control layer helps to eliminate having to deal with all of those details. So it's more like wrapping a present and just makes it a little bit easier. One thing that we do have to take into account with this wall is that we had to make custom flashing. So instead of having just a standard 1 to 1.25 inch drip cap flashing, we did have to make some custom flashings, which can be made at a metal shop at points that the flashing does have to come all the way back through the insulation layer and underneath the WRB. So we've got points like at the bottom of the wall, at the underside of the window sill, and points like that. Otherwise, we can still use standard flashing that we use on our siding at certain points that helps with where the cladding comes in, can still drain the water away. But we've attached the mineral wool with 3/4 inch rainscreen material. So then if any moisture does get behind there, it still goes all the way down to the custom return flashing down here and guide it away from the building. To attach this mineral wool, like I said, we used 3/4 inch rainscreen material. This can be just 1x4s or it can be 3/4 inch plywood cut into strips. It might have to be pressure treated depending on the location. But all we've done is we use this 3/4 material and then we attach it with screws, and those screws have to go into a structural member of the wall, so a stud, or as for example these ones are into the king posts for the windows. For installing the window, to make sure that we maintain that air control layer, the bottom sill of the window and the window dressing is very similar to the standard wall. It's a sill flashing piece going along the bottom, which wraps up the side a little bit, and then we put those butterfly corners in to make sure that there's no opening in the corner of the window that water will be able to get into, and then just one piece that wraps around the corner to make sure that it's nice and watertight. Then we install the window as per normal. We've used a sloped sill. So with the sloped sill, we do have to ensure that we have sloped or angled shim pieces wherever the window manufacturer requires some sort of structure. So we installed the window directly to the sheathing membrane, then we tape the window to the sheathing membrane, bring the WRB on, and then tape the WRB to the window flange. So then that maintains that air control layer of that WRB to the window. With this having been installed, we can't tape the bottom of the window because we want to keep that open in case any moisture does get in behind that window, it can still drain out. So what we've done for that is this sill drain pan is part of our WRB and part of our air control layer. So we've sealed the bottom of the window to this WRB with some sort of caulking, and then we actually tape the window to our vapor barrier that we've wrapped around the window and tied into our WRB member here. A little hole like that isn't a big deal because we will end up having tape and caulking that would wrap around that entire window if it was there. So.